33 drivers, 500 miles, one winner. The roar of 300,000 fans, the smell of burning rubber, and the thunder of engines at over 200 miles per hour. There's nothing in this world quite like the Indianapolis 500. But the Indy 500 is more than just a race. It's the greatest spectacle in racing. But it's more to everyone that attends. It's the traditions, emotions, and memories passed down through generations. Hi, we're Jack and Erica with Hello Pumpkin Travels, and in this video we're diving into the rich history of the greatest spectacle in racing, the must-sees around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the unforgettable pre-race ceremonies that give the race fans chills every single year, the intensity of race day itself, and the celebration that follows after the checkered flag. For me, this race is personal. For the past 13 years, I've had the privilege of attending the Indianapolis 500-mile race with my dad, a tradition that has become one of the most meaningful parts of my life. On top of that, Erica has been able to join us for the past 5 years, and my best friend Manny for 8. From the early morning walks through the Speedway to hearing Back Home Again in Indiana echoing across the crowd, these moments are bigger than racing. They are about family, legacy, and memories that last a lifetime. Long before the roar of modern Indy cars echoed through the grandstands, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway began as a bold idea in the early 1900s. At the time, the automobile industry was thriving, and 4 Indiana businessmen wanted a place where car manufacturers could test their machines and prove their reliability. In 1909, construction began on what would become one of the most legendary racetracks in the world, a massive 2.5-mile oval built with crushed stone and tar. But after several dangerous accidents during the track's earliest races, the surface was rebuilt using more than 3 million bricks, giving the speedway its famous nickname, the Brickyard. Just 2 years later, in 1911, the very first Indianapolis 500 was held. 40 drivers took on the grueling 500-mile challenge in front of a massive crowd of over 80,000 spectators. Ray Harroun would go on to win the inaugural race driving the Mormon Wasp, a revolutionary car that introduced one major innovation still used today, the rearview mirror. The first Indy 500 wasn't just a race. It was the beginning of an American tradition that would captivate fans for generations and transform the Indianapolis Motor Speedway into the racing capital of the world. Today, the famous Brickyard surface that once covered the entire Indianapolis Motor Speedway is mostly gone. As race technology advanced, the rough brick track was eventually pulled up and paved with asphalt to create a safer and faster racing surface. But the Speedway made sure to preserve a small piece of its incredible history, leaving behind a single yard of exposed bricks at the start-finish line. It may only be 36 inches wide, but the strip of bricks has become one of the most iconic symbols in all of motorsports. And with it came one of racing's greatest traditions, kissing of the bricks. The tradition officially began in 1996 with Dale Jarrett and his crew knelt down to kiss the bricks after the NASCAR Brickyard 400. Fans loved the emotional moment so much that it quickly became a tradition embraced by Indy 500 winners as well. Today, every driver dreams of kneeling at the yard of bricks after conquering 500 miles at the Brickyard. But the celebration doesn't stop there. The winning driver of the Indianapolis 500 is also handed an ice-cold bottle of milk in Victory Lane, another tradition deeply tied to the Speedway history. It all started back in 1936 when winner Louis Meyer asked for buttermilk after the race to refresh himself on a hot day. Fans and photographers captured the moment, and the dairy industry quickly embraced it as part of the Indy 500 lore. Since then, milk has become synonymous with victory at Indianapolis. Well, almost always milk. In 1993, winner Emerson Fittipaldi shocked fans when he took a sip of orange juice instead, hoping to promote Florida citrus growers. The reaction from the crowd was immediate and controversial, with many fans booing the decision because it broke one of the Speedway's most sacred traditions. Fittipaldi would eventually take a sip of milk afterwards, but the orange juice moment remains one of the most talked about victory lane celebrations in Indy 500 history. Alongside the milk and the bricks stands perhaps the greatest prize in American motorsports, the legendary Borg-Warner Trophy. First introduced in 1936, the massive sterling silver trophy features the sculpted faces of every Indy 500 winner in history. After each race, the winning driver's likeness is carefully handcrafted and permanently added to the trophy, cementing their place among the legends of the Speedway forever. For drivers, seeing their face added to the Borg-Warner Trophy isn't just a celebration of victory, it's immortality in the racing world. The magic of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway goes far beyond the track itself. From legendary landmarks to fan traditions and behind-the-scenes experiences, there's something unforgettable around every corner of this historic track. Whether it's your first Indy 500 or your 13th like mine, these are some of the absolute must-see experiences throughout the Speedway. The first thing that immediately captures your attention is the iconic pagoda. Towering above the front straightaway, the pagoda has become the visual centerpiece of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The original structure debuted in the 1970s, but the modern glass and steel version feels like the command center of racing itself. During race weekend, this is where officials, broadcasters, and race control oversee all the action. Watching the pagoda rise above the packed grandstands with the sound of the engines echoing across the speedway is one of those moments that instantly reminds you you're at the Indy 500. Then there's Gasoline Alley, one of the most legendary areas in all of racing. This is where the teams prepare their cars and crews work around the clock chasing speed. The name dates back to the early days of the Speedway when the scent of gasoline filled the garage area. Today, walking near Gasoline Alley gives fans a glimpse into the intensity and precision required to compete in the greatest spectacle in racing. Every garage tells a story, and every team is fighting for a chance at immortality. No visit to the Speedway is complete without stopping by the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum, packed with historical Indy cars, championship-winning vehicles, and memorabilia from more than a century of racing history. The museum brings the legacy of the Indy 500 to life. Inside, you will find vintage race cars to exhibits honoring the legends of the sport. It's a place where fans can truly appreciate how deeply the Indianapolis 500 is woven into American motorsport history. Make your way over to the infield, where FanFest brings another layer of excitement to race weekend. Interactive displays, merchandise tents, sponsor experiences, food vendors, live entertainment, and driver appearances create an electric atmosphere all day long. It's the perfect place for fans to explore between on-track action while soaking in the incredible energy of race day. This is Erica's favorite area because all of the free stuff the vendors hand out. Everything from shirts to drinks to sunglasses and everything in between. For fans looking for a completely different kind of energy, there's the legendary Snake Pit. What started decades ago as a wild infield party evolved into one of the largest EDM festival experiences in motorsports. Thousands of fans packed the infield for live music, DJs, and non-stop excitement while the race unfolds around them. It's loud, chaotic, and unlike anything else at the Speedway, proving the Indy 500 truly has something for every type of fan. And for the most unforgettable part of the Indy 500, welcome to Turn 3 infield parking, where the engines aren't the only things running hot. This is the heart of the chaos, packed with trucks, music, grills, and thousands of fans turning race weekend into one giant party. From sunrise beers to late night concerts, Turn 3 is pure Indy tradition. It is loud, wild, and unforgettable. Whether you're here for the race cars screaming at 230 miles an hour or the non-stop tailgate energy, there's nothing else like it on Earth. This isn't just parking, this is the true Indy 500 experience. To top off your perfect race day, one of the most unforgettable experiences at the Speedway is simply walking down the front straightaway towards the pagoda. As you pass the pit boxes lined with tools, tires, and equipment from the race teams, you begin to feel just how much history has unfolded on this stretch of pavement. Looking across the massive grandstands while standing next to the same pit lane used by racing legends creates a surreal moment for any motorsports fan. It's one thing to watch the Indy 500 on television, but standing on the front straightaway at the Brickyard makes you feel like you are a part of the history itself. The Indianapolis 500 is more than a race. It's an emotional tradition that captures the spirit of America, family, and motorsports in a way no other event can. Long before the green flag waves, the pre-race ceremonies transformed the Speedway into something sacred. Every moment builds anticipation, emotion, and pride, creating an atmosphere that gives fans chills year after year. The driver introductions are where the energy truly begins to rise. One by one, 33 drivers step onto the stage, representing different countries, different journeys, and a lifelong dream of winning the greatest race in the world. The roar of the crowd grows louder with every name announced. Veterans soak in the moment, rookies try to contain their emotions, and fans wave flags and cheer for their favorite drivers. For the drivers, this is the realization of a childhood dream. For the fans, it's the moment the race suddenly becomes real. Then comes back home again in Indiana, one of the most beloved traditions in all of sports. As the first notes begin to play, the entire Speedway seems to pause. Hundreds of thousands of fans sing along together, many with tears in their eyes, remembering races they watched with parents, grandparents, and friends who are no longer here. It's a song about home, but at the Indy 500, it becomes something bigger, a connection between generations and a reminder that this race is deeply personal to so many people. The sound of the rifle volley and taps brings an entirely different emotion over the crowd. In a venue filled with noise and excitement, silence suddenly takes over. Hats come off, heads bow, and for a few powerful moments, everyone reflects on the sacrifice, freedom, and the people who gave everything for it. It's one of the most emotional moments of the day because it reminds everyone that the Indy 500 is about more than racing. It's also about honoring something greater than ourselves. As the final notes fade away, thousands of balloons are released into the sky above the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Fans stop to watch as the colors drift higher and higher, floating over the massive grandstands and disappearing into the clouds. For many, it symbolizes hope, memories, and the spirit of loved ones watching from above. It's peaceful, beautiful, and emotional all at once. As the national anthem echoes throughout the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the entire crowd stands united in a powerful moment of pride and reflection. Drivers focus quietly beside their cars while fans place their hands over their hearts, soaking in the emotion of the moment. Then, as the final note of the anthem rings out, the silence is instantly broken by the thunderous roar of military jets streaking across the sky in a breathtaking flyover. The sound shakes the grandstands, rattles the ground beneath the fans, and sends an urge of adrenaline through the entire speedway. Cheers erupt from the crowd as the jets disappear overhead, transforming the atmosphere from emotional reflection into pure excitement and setting the stage for the greatest spectacle in racing. And finally, for the greatest words in racing. Drivers, start your engines. Those 4 words ignite the speedway like nothing else on earth. The engines roar to life, the crowd explodes, and the emotion that has been building for hours finally erupts into pure adrenaline. It's the moment where history, tradition, emotion, and speed all collide. At the Indianapolis 500, the pre-race ceremonies aren't just an introduction to the race, they are the heart and soul of the entire event. Once the green flag drops at the Indianapolis 500, everything changes instantaneously. The quiet anticipation with everyone on their feet disappears and is replaced by 33 cars charging into turn 1 at over 230 miles per hour. The sound is unbelievable, a thunderous roar that shakes your chest and reminds you that you're witnessing something truly special. For the next 200 laps or 500 miles, the speedway becomes a non-stop blur of speed. Every pit stop matters, every pass matters, every lap brings the drivers one step closer to immortality. But one of the most special parts of the Indy 500 isn't just happening on the track. It's happening in the stands. Take a moment to enjoy the people sitting around you, because chances are you only see them once a year. Families and friends return to the exact same seats decade after decade, creating traditions that become part of their lives. My dad has had these tickets for more than 40 years, and every single May, you see the same familiar faces show up like a reunion. Complete strangers become race day family. You laugh about memories from past races, and for one day every year, it feels like no time has passed at all. And if there's one piece of advice every Indy 500 veteran knows, plan your bathroom trips wisely. With more than 300,000 fans packed into the speedway, the lines can get incredibly long once the race is underway. Miss your timing, and you might spend several laps waiting in line while the roar of the crowd tells you something big just happened on track. At the Indy 500, even a quick bathroom break can turn into part of the adventure. That's what makes this race so much more than just motorsports. Yes, it's about speed and competition, but it's also about tradition, memories, and the people you share it with. Year after year, generation after generation, the Indianapolis 500 becomes part of your life. And once you have experienced it, you understand why people come back forever. When the checkered flag finally falls at the Indianapolis 500, the race may be over, but the experience isn't. After 500 miles, there's still one more moment every fan needs to take in. Don't rush to the exits just yet. Stay in your seat and watch the winner make their parade lap around the speedway. As the driver passes by you, you will be able to see the emotion of the driver's face as they realize they've just become part of racing history forever. It's one of the most unforgettable moments of the entire day. Once the celebration lap is over, make your way towards Victory Circle. This is where dreams become reality. Race fans crowd together to catch a glimpse of the winning driver celebrating with their team. You can feel the energy everywhere. Photographers flashing cameras, crews hugging each other, and race fans cheering for a moment they'll remember forever. After the celebration begins to settle down, take your time walking around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway one last time. Walk along the track, listen to the remaining roar of the crowd, and soak in those final moments of this year's Indy 500. The trash scattered through the grandstands, the fans slowly making their way out, and the silence beginning to return to the speedway all remind you that another unforgettable race day had come to an end. There's something special about those final moments because you already know you'll spend the next year waiting to come back again. And honestly, there's no reason to rush out anyway. The traffic after the Indy 500 is legendary, with hundreds of thousands of fans all trying to leave at once. it can take hours just to get out of the parking lots surrounding the speedway. So instead of sitting in frustrated bumper-to-bumper traffic, enjoy every last second inside the track. Take photos, relive the race with people around you, and appreciate being part of something bigger than just a sporting event. Because once the speedway finally empties out, all that's left are the memories until next May. Another unforgettable Indianapolis 500 comes to an end. From the pre-race traditions to the roar of 33 cars charging into turn 1 to the memories shared with family, friends, and race fans. There's simply nothing else like the Indy 500. It's more than just a race. It's history, tradition, and experience that stays with you long after you leave the speedway. Last year, Alex Palou cemented his name into immortality by winning the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500, adding another legendary chapter to the greatest spectacle in racing. The 110th running of the Indy 500 happening Sunday, May 24th, where another driver will have the chance to kiss the bricks and become immortal at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let us know down in the comments, who would you like to see win the 110th running of the Indy 500? Look for us in J Stands wherever you might be watching. Erica is going with Pato O'Ward. Manny has Indianapolis's hometown hero, Connor Daly. My dad couldn't decide one, so he took Scott McLaughlin and Jack Harvey. And for me, I'm going with Felix Rosenquist. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey through race day at the Indianapolis 500. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow along for more travel adventures, racing experiences, and unforgettable moments from our travels. I'm Jack with Hello Pumpkin Travels, and we'll see you around like a donut.